Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. If you've ever felt like your brain is just running on fumes, even though you got plenty of sleep last night, or maybe halfway through the workday your thoughts just get incredibly clouded, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're breaking down a really fascinating source on a condition that is quietly affecting so many of us in the modern workplace. And more importantly, we're going to talk about how to actually fix it. So let's dive right into this. Picture this. You're sitting there, staring blankly at your computer screen. Your head feels like it's stuffed with cotton. Yet, when you go to the doctor to figure out what the heck is going on, they tell you your test results are absolutely fine. It's incredibly frustrating, isn't it? I mean, your daily performance is clearly taking a hit. You know your focus is completely off, but the medical professionals say there's physically nothing wrong to treat. To help clear things up, here is our roadmap for today. 1. What exactly is brain fog? 2. The root cause, which is brain fatigue. 3. The everyday habits destroying your focus. And 4. Practical steps for recovery. All right, kicking things off with section 1. What is brain fog? So brain fog isn't actually a formal medical diagnosis, which honestly is exactly why your doctor might look at your chart and say, everything's perfectly normal. But it's this very real state where your head literally feels like it's covered in a dense mist. It causes a sharp, totally measurable decline in your focus, your thinking, your memory, and just your overall processing speed. Now, our source notes that this has become increasingly common lately, especially as a post-COVID effect, but it also heavily impacts perfectly healthy workers who just can't seem to tap into their natural performance anymore. Diagnosis or not, the impact this has on your daily life is 100% real.
Moving right along to section 2, the root cause, brain fatigue.
Okay, so what actually triggers this? The common culprits are overwork, high stress, lack of decent sleep, sitting uninterrupted for hours on end, and, you guessed it, staring at screens. And yes, that absolutely includes that supposedly quick doom scroll on social media. We kind of just accept these things as unavoidable hazards of modern life, right? But the source really drives home that these everyday behaviors cause a massive accumulation of what they call brain fatigue. Your brain is quite literally exhausted from being pushed to its absolute limits day in and day out without any genuine recovery. To understand why, think of your autonomic nervous system as having two main gears. On one side, you have the sympathetic nervous system. That's your active, tense, fight or flight mode. On the flip side, you have the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest, relaxation, and healing mode. Now, a healthy body bounces beautifully back and forth between these two states all day long. But here is a shocking fact from the source. 90% of modern people are struggling with a disordered autonomic nervous system. Our modern routines basically lock us permanently into that tense, active, sympathetic state. Your brain simply never gets the biological signal to just switch gears, relax, and heal. Which brings us to section 3, the habits destroying your focus. Now, I want you to burn this number into your memory. 90 minutes. According to the source, that is the biological limit for human concentration. Period. You might think you can just power through a 3 or 4 hour deep work marathon without stopping, but the biological reality is, after about 90 minutes, your cognitive function starts falling off a cliff. Pushing past this limit without resting, it doesn't make you a harder worker. Actually, scratch that. It just guarantees you'll start making silly mistakes. Your efficiency will completely tank, and you'll drag your poor brain into a state of severe fatigue. And let's talk about multitasking for a second. We used to idolize the ultimate professional as someone with a phone squeezed against their ear while rapidly typing up a data report, right? But in reality, multitasking is a massive productivity myth. Rapidly bouncing between tasks puts this huge, unnatural load on your brain. It accelerates brain fatigue, it ruins your efficiency, and it is a massive contributor to that foggy feeling. Monotasking, which is just focusing on one single thing at a time, is the actual secret to true sustainable productivity. Here is a frankly staggering figure: 80%. A full 80% of the information your brain processes is visual. Just think about that. Now think about what you usually do when you finally take a break at work. You probably grab your smartphone, right? You scroll social media, watch a video, maybe browse the web. You are continuing to just bombard your eyes with visual data. Because 80% of your brain's processing power is dedicated to sight, looking at a screen during a break isn't resting your brain at all. You are literally just exhausting it even further. Okay, enough of the bad news. Let's get into section 4, practical steps for recovery. There is this brilliant Japanese proverb, "Isogaba maware," and it perfectly captures our main solution here. It translates to haste makes waste, or more literally, if you are in a hurry, take the detour.
It feels completely counterintuitive, doesn't it? Like when you have a massive deadline looming, actively stopping to take a break feels like you're just throwing precious time away. But the source makes a really compelling, scientifically backed argument. Actively stopping to rest and care for your brain before your cognitive functions drop actually speeds up your overall workflow, prevents errors, and keeps your performance incredibly high.
So, how exactly do you take that detour? Step 1, you've got to stand up every 30 to 60 minutes. Prolonged sitting is just terrible for your overall health and your cognitive function. Step 2, do some light stretching or intentionally take the stairs, even if you're just pretending you have a really important meeting on another floor. See, when you sit too long, your muscles stiffen up. But by moving them, you create this natural pumping action in your body. It sends fresh blood and oxygen straight up into your brain while flushing out all the gunk, the accumulated waste products that cause physical stiffness. And step 3, if you can during lunch, take a walk in a park. Walking in nature-filled spaces has a much, much higher cognitive recovery effect than walking in a crowded concrete urban area.
But hey, what if you're slammed and you can't just casually leave your desk? Try these analog resting techniques. Seriously, just closing your eyes is an absolute game changer. Remember that 80% visual processing load we just talked about? By just shutting your eyes, you instantly cut off that massive stream of incoming data. The source states that doing this actually triggers alpha waves, meaning your brain immediately shifts into a state of deep relaxation and healing. Pair that with some deep, mindful abdominal breathing, and you've got yourself an instant reset button. And crucially, strictly avoid all screens, social media, and gaming during these breaks, and especially right before bed, so your autonomic nervous system can actually get a chance to calm down. We can also support our brain's recovery through what we choose to consume. Let's talk about brain-boosting fuel. In the morning, or maybe right after lunch, a cup of coffee is fantastic for that awakening effect. But in the late afternoon, when your brain is tired but your sympathetic nervous system is still wired and tense, drinking coffee then might just wreck your nighttime sleep. Instead, the source recommends swapping that for peppermint tea. It has a fantastic refreshing effect that revitalizes the brain while simultaneously soothing nervous tension without messing up your sleep cycle. And if you need a quick bite, reach for healthy snacks like nuts or dark chocolate. They provide excellent nutritional support for cognitive recovery. So, we've covered what brain fog actually is, the biological reality of brain fatigue, and those sneaky daily habits causing all that deep mental exhaustion, which leaves me with one final question for you today. Are you going to wait for the fog to completely blind you, or will you take a break right now to clear the path? Seriously, your brain is your single most valuable asset, and true productivity means knowing exactly when to step back and let it heal. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I highly, highly encourage you to step away from your screen, just close your eyes and take a deep breath the second this finishes. Keep learning, keep focusing, and please take care of your brain.